Hi everybody, it's Douglas Samadisha for another video for NobodyMotivation.com, where we aim to hit you up with videos on a weekly basis designed to educate, motivate and inspire you to achieve your biggest, brightest, boldest goals. Now, why am I twiddling this pen on my intro? Well, it's quite simple. This video is all about selling. Okay, so I'm going to start with the premise. Can you sell me this pen? Do you have the skills, the attributes to convince me to buy this pen? Because selling is one of the most fundamental traits of being a human. Now, I've been reading this fantastic book by Daniel Pink, To Sell is Human. And there are many things in this book that I will touch upon in this video. But basically what I'm trying to get across right off the bat is to sell is not common sense. Particularly in the digital age, whereby the consumer has so many different options in buying anything. There's a plethora of ways that you can actually purchase things nowadays. So the seller, whether you're selling non-product sales or selling actual products, is becoming far more difficult. In fact, it's not just common sense, it's second nature, meaning there's certain things that you're going to have to learn and be mindful of in order for you to sell effectively in the digital age. If you want to convince me to buy this pen from you, you have to make the pen all about me. You have to be able to address my wants, not my needs. Wants trump needs all day long. This is not about you. It is all about the buyer. It's all about the buyer's wants, not necessarily their needs. You have to let go of your ego. Then and only then you can communicate and engage with people on a personal level. If your ego is at the fore of the conversation, people will think you are not genuine. People will start thinking you are not sincere with the words that come out of your mouth. You can try flattery all day long, but people, particularly buyers, will see through that. Let go of your ego, then you connect with the people. Now that you have kicked your ego out of the way, you are now attuned to the wants, the needs, and the wishes of your potential buyer. Back in the day, we used to have these video cassette recorders. Those of you who are too young, go and ask your parents. But basically, you needed to tune them in until you got two vertical lines on the TV screen. That was the right setting for you to get a crystal clear picture. This is what you need to do when you are engaging with a potential buyer. You have to be attuned to their wants first and foremost. Their needs will also follow, and then after that, potential wishes. Throughout my professional career, although I never worked directly in sales, I've always been aligned to sales, and I've gone to various exhibitions. I've helped close deals. My nickname is The Finisher because I can get to the crux of what is holding back that sale. So a lot of younger salespeople, they fall down on this very, very basic principle, and that is starting a conversation. The ego, even though it's kicked out the side, they still have this very mechanical way of speaking, almost like you're talking to a droid, okay? So in mental health, in psychology, there's a principle that came out of the Recovery College in Southwest London in St. George's Trust, okay? To help you engage in conversation, for you to actually understand what a person wants. And that was called ARDA. Ask, acknowledge, discuss, and agree. If you start your conversation by asking, how can I serve you? How can I help you? And you're saying that in a very sincere way, you're already starting the ball rolling to having a conversation. Okay? And the second principle there is acknowledge. If you actually now are acknowledging the wants of the buyer, you are truly attuned to them. Because let's be frank, buyers now have lots of options, and they're only really concerned about their own wants. They've got their own issues there. They're not truly concerned about other matters at this stage. So yes, once you have got them in a situation whereby you can acknowledge, by paraphrasing what they're saying to you, the sales process now can move to just an open discussion. And you cannot be in sales if you do not like humans, if you do not like human interaction. If you struggle to have conversations, you need to come to terms with those things first and really ask yourself the question, is this the right environment for you to be in? Because to sell comes from the principle that you are coming from a very humanistic type of position. You like engaging with fellow human beings. It's not about rushing the sale through. You have a discussion. At the end of the discussion, you have an outcome. It's only through this discussion can you have the clarity in terms of what it is that the buyer truly wants. Yes, particularly around technology, the argument is always that, but the buyer sometimes doesn't know what is actually available on the market. So yes, you can kind of like do some sort of educational piece as you're listening, paraphrasing what they are expressing. That means you're still acknowledging who they are. There's a major reason why a lot of relationships fail. It's based upon a partner feeling they're not being acknowledged. You have an argument with your partner and you fail to acknowledge them. Are you A, making that situation worse for yourself, or B, you're making it better? No answers on the postcard for this one. It's quite simple. You're making things worse. So failing to acknowledge somebody is to the detriment of you making that sale. With everything that has been said, we cannot fail to underestimate the effects of passion. Passion is what you need to convince somebody that you have something worthy to potentially buy from you. Passion, just as in the non-digital age, is something that still needs to transcend across from you to the potential buyer. Your passion has to be illuminating your smile. You have to truly believe in what it is that you are selling. Combined with the other factors, by having the discussion, by acknowledging them, you can actually start to progress on selling. Passion alone is just not enough. Smiling, there's a Chinese proverb that says, a man that doesn't smile should never open up a shop. And I've been to many sales conferences and people are not smiling. They're walking around with faces like thunder. And you think to yourself, does this person actually want me to buy from them? You know, so please smile, show your teeth and be sincere. And lastly, you have to remain buoyant. You have to remain upbeat throughout the whole sales process. Selling in the digital age is not like selling before the internet was there. It's completely different. The consumer now has options. They can go online. They like to do their own research before buying. So chances are when you do have the opportunity to sell, that person might have done some research way beforehand. So you have to remain buoyant throughout the sales process. Sometimes you're just instilling information. Sometimes you're just listening. Sometimes you're just advising and giving them the ability so that they can ask you questions that will allow them to make a far more informed choice. Remember one thing, your mouth can open opportunities for you, and also the same mouth can close opportunities for you. When somebody is convinced they want something from you, be mindful of what you speak of to them, because sometimes you can talk yourself out of a sale. So you have to remain upbeat, be close to the consumer. Look at them from the digital perspective. Where are they going to find out information regarding these products or non-products? Okay? Be closely aligned to their wants, not necessarily their needs. Be attuned to that. Provide clarity. Remain buoyant. Then add a sprinkling of passion throughout the whole process. Then and only then you might be in the position to convince me, the consumer, to purchase this pen. All of this means nothing, guys, if it's not applied and shared. Each one, teach one. This has been Douglas Hammond, DJ for NobodyMotivation.com. I'm out.